What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition. This time, the Go Home April Fools, as you see. Yes, that's right. The April 1st, 2024 edition of My Night Raw review. Um, this was it was good, but not as good as I expected to be edition of My Night Raw. If that makes sense, it was good, but just wasn't. It could have been a lot better, especially a go home edition to the biggest WrestleMania of all time. So let me stop the music, because now we're about to talk. Of course, they did some recap of what happened on the last Monday Night Raw, where Cody got his butt whooped or whatnot. Um, with that being said, we did start off with the Bloodline, and first up to bat on the Bloodline was The Rock, and The Rock basically came out and boosted. I gotta add here, I do like The Rock's theme. I like his not theme, but like his Titantron. His Titantron is awesome, and they like every time you see it, they update it with something new, and I like it. But yeah, he basically came out to boost about himself, about how he feel about what he did last week, and the fact that wrestling is cool again, and we're all there because of him. And Brooklyn set an all-time gate attendance. The house is sold out, packed, and that's a first for a Monday Night Raw. But then he says he didn't come alone. This is where Roman Reigns comes out. Oh, before we get to Roman Reigns, I forgot that he played video clips of little girls and children crying mad at him because because of what he did to Cody Rhodes. And these were like real YouTube videos or Instagram or Twitter videos where kids was watching what happened and they was crying and didn't understand and was saddened by The Rock doing that to Cody. And The Rock said he understands that it hurts his heart because he's a girl, a 3-time girl dad, and he understands, and he don't like breaking children's hearts, especially girls. But he said if y'all watching right now, put your kids in front of the TV. Let me lay some gossip on you. Sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do, where another man stick his nose in another man's business. I think he repeated that like one more time. And then we get to Roman Reigns, who comes out and boosts about what The Rock did and about how he's the greatest of all time and his family above all. And that's what he said that's how he been operating this whole time. And that The Rock, he didn't need The Rock to do what he did last week, man, he said it damn so felt good to have The Rock do what he did, because that's what family do. We do that, you know. And he thanked The Rock for doing that. He several times, and then they would get interrupted by Seth Rollins, which Seth Rollins would come out and said that they crossed the line what they did last week, and that whatchamacallit, that there's there got to be consequences for that. So the biggest Monday Night Raw going into the biggest with WrestleMania, he said we got to have the biggest main event, which means he challenged The Rock or Roman Reigns to a one-on-one match in the main event, but they would tell him no, and it would get accepted by Solo Sikoa. But The Rock would inform himself that Oh, by the way, Seth came through the crowd. He didn't come all the way to the ring, but he did come through the crowd and just stayed in the crowd while he was talking to them. But yeah, he would. They would tell him no, and that he would, but he will fight solo under Bloodline rules. And then we get a promo of Becky and Rhea, who was on, I guess, a talk show, an MMA talk show, talking about WrestleMania and whatnot. And the main point that they showed was that while Rhea was getting interviewed, Becky kept calling. So I guess doing because they didn't show this part, but he said something about when they did show the segment. He said something about Becky keeps calling. Then when he answered the phone, he says, yeah, she said, yeah, I was calling, but you wouldn't answer my calls. And he said, yeah, because she told me not to. So apparently during that interview, Rhea told the guy to not answer Becky's calls. But that Becky says, if because you guys up there talking about me and stuff, I had to be here. I'm in New York as well. And they said, wait a minute. He said, wait a minute, you're here? Like, here where? And she said, outside the building. They won't let me in. So they let her in, and Rhea and Becky would get into a confrontation. But this is just part one, because there's more to this. Then we get the first match, which is New Day and DIY versus the entirety of the men's of Judgment Day. I say entirety, then I realized Rhea's part of Judgment Day. So it's just the men, the entirety of men of Judgment Day. And I think this was this was an 8-man tag. I haven't seen plenty 8-man tags. This was a decent opener. This was a decent opener. Not for where I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of better, but it wasn't bad. It was a quick 15-minute match. With Judgment Day looking strong, which is, I guess you could say, which is bad going into WrestleMania, because you got this 6-pack challenge and the other team of New Day and DIY didn't look as strong as they should. But Judgment Day looked as strong, and Damian Priest especially looked as strong. Because when he got involved, that was pretty much the end of the match. He dominated and hit a razor's edge on, I think that was Ciampa, to get the victory. Then we got a backstage Bloodline promo where Roman was just telling the Rock that he about to get up out of here because he got to go write the speech for the Wise Man, which was basically them announcing that Roman would be the one is the one that's going to induct Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame, and that they basically got tonight covered. We did get a Chad Gable and Sami Zayn promo where basically we see them at the performance center, and Chad is training him on how to have a different approach. And this different approach was just bringing out that hunger in Sami. Chad was pushing Sami, and then Sami got angry and said, "What are you doing?" Because I think like he was doing some reps with some guys, but then Chad came and put him in the headlock, making him tap. He said, "What are you doing? Why did you do that?" He said, "You think Gunther is going to stop because you're tired? You got to keep going. You got to push yourself." But he got Sami to admit, because he said, "Why you got that hunger in you, but you won't let it out? Why you won't let that hunger out?" And Sami admitted that because he's afraid. He's afraid of failing and let everyone down, the fans, his family. He don't want he don't want his son to have tears coming down his eye, down his cheeks, just like it was his Chad Gable's daughter. And that Chad, he even questioned, like, you were the one who told me I couldn't beat Gunther. But Chad was like, it's because I was telling you what you wanted to hear. Now, I was telling you, I didn't tell you what you need. That's what he said. I didn't tell you what you wanted to hear. I was telling you what you needed to hear because you were at your best where people doubt you. And he said, he said, this is what all this been about, is to find that hunger in you. Trust me, I know exactly how you feel. But this has all been to push you to release that hunger that you had last year at WrestleMania. And then they continue on this montage of working out and where Sammy started pushing through and have this newfound confidence, energy, and determination. This will lead into a backstage promo before the next match with Judgment Day, where they're talking about business or whatnot. I guess they're talking about what to do. No, actually, is that the next one? Cause it's another Judgment Day promo, I believe. Because this wasn't. Give me a second. Because this wasn't the only promo. Did I write down that other one? I'm asking you guys like you know. No, I didn't. But they had two promos. This will be the introduction to one where they had basically they were talking about the match itself and the plan and the plans to deal with Ricochet, but they would get interrupted by Santos Escobar and Legado del Fantasma, to which again Dominic Mysterio would get scolded for not communicating about this with them and having them come into their clubhouse. He tried to make peace by introducing them to. He said Jamie Priest told him, like, look, I know we gave you this blessing to handle your father, but man, you gotta stop doing this crap, man. This gotta stop. And he said, I'm gonna go make a call. And then he walks out and basically asks mommy to, handle Priest so he wouldn't be so angry. And she said she will, but he said he's right about one thing. You got to stop with this non-communication stuff. We got to get back to where we are communicating and you running stuff by me, okay? And he said, of course. And then I think he got them to play darts. But we will then get the next match, which is Sammy versus Bronson Reed. They ran it back from last week, but this time it's supposed to be different because with Sammy saying for to have this new focus, this new determination, and for the most part he proved it in this match. It was no fun little match. But this would be the first of two matches that would end this way tonight. And what I mean is, after a while of them having a good back and forth, once again, Sammy has to match one and get ready to hit the Haluna kick on Bronson Reed. But at this time, like last week, Gunther did a distraction, but instead of him just coming out to just sitting there looking smug, he came out with a beaten Chad Gable. This time, instead of running into Bronson Reed and getting pinned, Sammy would get out the ring to go check on Chad and call for help, but Gunther would come out and start beating down Sammy. Sammy, after a whole bunch of beat down, Sammy would show his new determination and start getting up. To which Gunther was surprised that Sammy was re-standing himself up after all that, and then he went back and beat him down again. This time, keeping him down permanently. We did get a small Jey Uso promo after this where he basically ran into rapper Lil Wayne in the back and inviting him to WrestleMania. To which Wayne said, "Yeah, I'm gonna come to WrestleMania and I'm gonna bring my new single too," which I think he said is titled WrestleMania. So there's that. So Lil Wayne was just randomly like it was weird. He was just randomly hanging out in the back. We get the third match of the night, which is Ivy Niles and Maxine Dupree versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. This was an okay little match. It furthered, like, I guess you could say it furthered Maxine, not Maxine, but Candice's, heel turn. I kind of got what I wanted out of this. If you watch my live stream, I did say I wanted to see like Candice or I wanted to see Candice get beat by Maxine, that Maxine take her out, so that Maxine could be out for like maybe a month and a half, maybe up until Backlash or SummerSlam, and she comes back with like this new gimmick, and it's a gimmick that we all could get behind. I didn't get that, but I did get Maxine. Did get a victory. I did get part of what I predicted, which is Maxine getting like a out of the nowhere roll up victory, but instead on Candice, it was on Indy Hartwell after Indy and Candice would get into a disagreement about Candice's tactics. Maxine would take advantage of this. I think she like did a drop kick to Maxine, which made Maxine like. I'm not Maxine, but Maxine's the one who did the drop kick into Indy, making Indy like headbutt Candice, and then she will roll up Indy for the victory. With with Candice on the outside scolding Indy for not only losing the match, he lost the match to Maxine Dupree. We will get a promo from Seth and Jay, with Jay basically telling Seth that he got his back, like he had his back last week, and that he said, "Cool, let me talk to you for a minute." And you heard him say something about it's a numbers game, and then it went on commercial break. When we come back, we have a Drew McIntyre promo where Drew is basically cutting a promo about WrestleMania, and he's like in a tuxedo, and he's like in a funeral home, and in the casket is CM Punk's WrestleMania dreams, and the promo was basically taunting both Seth Rollins and CM Punk, with him saying that Seth Rollins is he compares Seth Rollins to Old Yeller, and that he's going to take. He said he called him instead of calling him Old Yeller, he said that old workhorse champion out back, and put him down, and he's going to become the new champion. This will lead me to our next match, which is Ricochet versus Ivar. Now, this is where I got confused. That's why I got confused with that Judgment Day promo, because after this match, there was another Judgment Day promo, but I did not write it down. But I forgot to that Judgment Day did do another promo after this. But this was a fun match this was match of the night, honestly. Ricochet and Ivar had the match of the night. This was the best match of the night by far. And I'm liking this new exposure that Ricochet is getting. But yeah, like I said, this was a great match. I like when Ivar tried to do like a corner splash, but Ricochet called him and actually carried him and did like some version of a Samoan drop. But yeah, Ricochet would get the victory here, and this will lead into the Judgment Day promo where Andrade would come in, and Dominic would introduce Andrade we introduce him to Galadel Fantasma, and Andrade like, yeah, I remember you talking about Santos, and then he said, I remember you too talking about Angel Garza. But Dominic invited him here to let him know that if they got a Ricochet problem that they're going to take care of, because I think JD even Dunham said something about taking care of it at the Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial on Friday, that him and Ricochet was a part of, confirming that they was the first two inches, but I think it was like Ivar and some more was also confirmed afterwards. But that JD said he was going to take care of him, but JD would get angry when Dominic would have a backup plan, Plan B, and he tells Andrade that if he could take care, Andrade is also going to be in there. He said you could take care of our Ricochet problem in case JD doesn't get the job done. Then we'll make you a full-fledged member. This kind of didn't go over well with Judgment Day a little bit, with Rhea saying she's going to get out of here because she's going to find Becky. But apparently it's a go. Speaking of which, we'll get into a Becky and Rhea promo where Becky will come out and basically say that she's here in Brooklyn for a fight and to finish what she started earlier, which she would call out Rhea. But Adam Pearce would come out and said that he would not let Rhea and Becky fight to to jeopardize the match that they got going on Saturday. That Becky's going to have to wait until Saturday. Yeah, I think Becky's match with Rhea was confirmed to be for Saturday or Sunday. I could be wrong. I can't remember if they confirmed it for Saturday or Sunday, but he was telling them whatever day it was, he was telling them to wait. And Rhea would come out and he tried to get her to wait, but Rhea was like, "Nah, she ain't having it." She throws her title at Adam Pearce to cause a distraction, allowing her and Becky to fight. They would get security, standard brawl. And then when we come back for commercial break, after a while, so many times of them breaking on the standard, they finally got them the hell back. But you can see that they were still fighting backstage. The brawl was still continuing backstage, and they finally got them separated. Dominic even came and helped get them separated, with Adam Pearce telling Dominic to get his mommy under control. Damage Control will cut a promo next about not caring about what Jade Cargill and Naomi and Bianca did last week, and that they're going to handle them at WrestleMania. But they're here on Raw to see has anybody on Raw got the balls enough to step up to them. Which we go into the next match, which is Damage Control versus Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Tegan Knox. This was a 6-woman tag. It was just Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, Kyrie, and Asuka with like Io there at ringside. This was a fun little match. This was a fun little match. I gotta admit, Damage Control did look good here. They made them look strong, especially going into Saturday. But I would like to point out that the highlight of this match was Tegan Knox. Second would be Zoe, but they let Tegan Knox shine, and they actually did what I've been begging them to do and lead into Tegan Knox Lady Kane gimmick. She's starting to do the choke slam more. She started to do. I think what she was doing, Lady Kane. Her gimmick was that in that gimmick she was using like basically almost like Kane's moveset. She was fighting like a big strong guy. But Damage Control would get the victory here to stand tall. Then Seth Rollins would cut a promo talking about why he has to do this, because he only got one gear, and that gear is go, and he goes until the tank is empty. But that he always got a plan B, because the question was asked, why would he take this match 5 days before WrestleMania, 5 days before Saturday, the tag team match, and then his match with Drew. He said he said that, and then he said what he said. But he said he ended that interview by saying, I always got a plan B. But then he would run into Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre would just smirk at him, and then he would like sitting on the crate, but then he would get off the crate and stand face to face with Seth. And if you remember in that promo where I said Drew did, he said something about Seth being a dead man. And Seth says to him, I'm not dead yet. And then as he walked away, you hear Drew say, "Yet." And then we get to the main event, which is Seth Rollins versus Solo in a Bloodline Rules match. Now, this was a good match. It was basically like a hardcore match. It was because it was basically like a no DQ hardcore match where they get to use weapons or whatnot. And yeah, it was okay. It wasn't that much involvement of the Bloodline though. But that's why I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, when did the Bloodline get involved? Because the Bloodline Rules, y'all made it seem like y'all were just gonna be there from the jump, but this kind of be a normal one-on-one match. But right when Seth Rollins got the upper hand on Solo, Jimmy would be the first one to come out and try to distract and help Solo. But Jay would come out and fight with Jimmy and to get rid of Jimmy and sending Jimmy to the back. But then you see Jay get thrown back onto the ring outside on the ramp, and you see that the final boss was the one who did that. And he would pick up Jay, ram him into the LED screen, and then throw him back into the gorilla position. You didn't see him. You didn't see the camera go with Jay into gorilla position, but that's what he threw him at. He threw him back in gorilla position. And then he would come down and taunt Seth Rollins, saying, "Yeah, you done it now, boy." And then as he was taunting, Seth Rollins would smile, and Cody Rhodes' music would hit. This was all part of the plan. And they would beat up on The Rock, get the upper hand. But Roman did a double cross because he wasn't gone, as he said he was. He can't. They say he came from underneath the ring, and he helped The Rock, and they beat down on both Cody and Seth, even whipping them with Rock's with Rock have the weight training belt of Cody. I guess it was Cody's weight training belt this time. It was blue and said American Nightmare on it. They would whip them into submission with Solo's help, and they would end the show there standing tall. Overall, like I said, this was a decent Monday Night Raw. Sorry for the long video. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I did. I really did enjoy it. I'm going to give it because this was a go home edition, it wasn't that good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Big ups, because this could have been a lot better. This really could. But let me know in the comments down below. Go ahead right there. WWE review. If you enjoy the video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere, got more. And stay tuned. Wrestling Hit Podcast. Sort of. Peace.